Good morning. It's Wednesday, December the 11th, 2024. I'm John Simney in the MNC News Center. News continues now with our top local stories on Michiana's Morning News. A man accused of stealing a car has appeared in court.
Elkhart police were dispatched to Faith Mission for the vehicle theft on October 31st when they were provided surveillance video. The video led to Terrence Smith being found and arrested. The Goshen News says Smith reportedly told police that he was picked up by a friend in South Bend and they went to McDonald's. But he said when the friend exited the vehicle, Smith began driving the car around and planned to pick him up later. He reportedly said he did not realize the vehicle was stolen. His jury trial is scheduled for February 10th. Alyssa Foster, MNC News.
A man has pleaded guilty to a charge of burglary at a storage unit. Police were called to All Secure Self-Storage in Elkhart after a woman found that somebody had cut the lock to her storage locker and taken jewelry and a cabinet. The Goshen News says 39-year-old William Vargas Sanchez, who had been evicted from a nearby locker in that same unit, was named the suspect, with surveillance footage reportedly showing him retrieving tools and entering the facility several times around the time of the burglary. His sentencing is scheduled for January 2nd. And a single vehicle crash on US 20 near County Road 27 left a Middlebury man injured and in trouble.
Investigators say the 64-year-old was driving a Hyundai Accent and traveling eastbound when he experienced a medical issue. The vehicle veered off the north side of the roadway, struck a pole, and overturned several times before coming to rest upright in a ditch. The driver suffered minor injuries and was taken to Elkhart General Hospital. Police cited him for driving while his license was suspended. Derek Decker, MNC News.
A federal court in Hammond has unsealed an indictment charging a citizen of the People's Republic of China.
All for his involvement in a conspiracy to hack into firewall devices worldwide in 2020. Investigators say Guan Tianfeng and his co-conspirators infected approximately 81,000 firewall devices, including a device used by an agency of the United States. The U.S. Department of State also announced rewards today of up to $10 million for information leading to the identification or location of Guan. Morgan Hopkins, MNC News.
Turning to the 95.3 MNC follow-up file, the driver of a semi involved in last week's winter storm pileup in Michigan has died. Michigan State Police say the driver, a 71-year-old Illinois man, died of his injuries at a Grand Rapids hospital the day after the crash on I-94 in Hartford Township. The Indiana Supreme Court now deciding to delay a ruling regarding the state's abortion law.
You may remember when Indiana's law on abortion changed, banning the procedure past 20 weeks or in certain cases where the mother's life could be at risk. 4 women associated with Hoosier Jews for Choice filed a lawsuit against the law, saying it violates the state's Religious Freedom Act. Indiana's High Court ruled Tuesday to not hear the case, but they do plan to get around to it eventually. Harrison Silcox, Network, Indiana.
Former Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill speaking out about the so-called groping civil case against him, which was suddenly dropped this week.
The problem is with allegations of this nature and the run-up by the media is you always have it in the back of your mind. Well, I think Curtis Hill is a good guy. I think he didn't do these things. But, gee, what if?
4 women accused Hill of groping them at an Indianapolis lounge back in 2018, but he claims there was no evidence, just a crowded room with no witnesses.
I think what's happened now has been a very resounding, no, it didn't happen. This is even better than going into court and beating them outright with a jury, because this is an indication that they, in their own minds, recognize the lack of merit in the accusations that they put before me.
Hill denied the allegations all along. No criminal charges were ever filed. One person was arrested at the scene of an apartment fire in Benton Harbor. Crews were called early on Monday afternoon to the 400 block of Kirby. The Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety found smoke coming from the second floor of the 2-story complex, and smoke and water damage was found throughout the building. Luckily, no injuries were reported. The person arrested faces an arson charge. New this morning on MNC, Indiana death row inmate Joseph Corcoran has filed a civil rights complaint in federal court against the state's Department of Corrections.
The Department of Corrections has denied his request to have a spiritual advisor at his side when he is put to death on December 18th. The lawsuit was filed on his behalf by federal defense attorney Larry Comp and Tahina Cochran, who married the inmate in 2004. Cochran wants to have his spiritual advisor, Reverend David Leitzel, with him with a hand on his shoulder or holding his hand until the execution is complete. Victor Garcia, MNC News.
Also new today, legislation that would expand Michigan's bottle return law to include water bottles and other containers has passed through a committee, but it's not exactly a sure bet to succeed.
Michigan's 10-cent deposit law went into effect nearly a half-century ago and has made significant inroads against littering. A vote is planned in the 2026 ballot that seeks to expand that existing law. Support of the idea is mixed in the legislature, but the voices opposing the expansion include Michigan Beverage Association President Derek Behema. He says that an expanded return law, including possibly water bottles, improves the opportunities for deposit fraud.
The Bridgman Holiday Village will celebrate the season this coming Saturday.
On December 14th, the Greater Bridgman Area Chamber and Growth Alliance say businesses across town will come together for one of the biggest events of the year. It begins with a pancake breakfast at 9 at Molly's Beach Walk Cafe and continues throughout the day with pet photos, a screening of the movie Elf, face painting, a pop-up market, and more. The Bridgman Community Christmas tree lighting will be at 6 with a brand new 18-foot tree. David Shea, MNC News.
Cloudy skies today with light snow showers expected, especially this afternoon and this evening. High temperatures right around 30 degrees. Overnight tonight, lake effect snow showers accumulation near the state line and north. Wind chills will be 0 or below with really windy conditions. And then those snow showers taper off tomorrow. We'll be back to partly cloudy skies, but a high of only 18. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
Don't forget, breaking news can happen at any time, day or night, and you can stay informed with breaking news text alerts from MNC. To get them, text the word news to 574-2595, 95.3.
Podcasts by Federated Media.